All right.
Great. All right, let's get started. Mountain Women in Business. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I am Stephanie Berardini. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of Mountain Women in Business. And we are just a small group supporting each other and supporting our businesses. And hopefully everybody is making great connections and great friends. So we're going to just start. We'll do a quick little round of introductions. If anybody has any kind of events coming up, happy to record them in the minutes, happy to get that information out to everybody, but we have to know, so just let us know in your introduction if you have anything fun coming up. So let's start with Deb, who is our recently our new co-president. So Rachel and Deb are going to share those duties for us. There's just a lot of paperwork and a lot of emails and a lot of organization to help keep it going. So thank you, Deb, for getting put in that position, allowing us to put you in that position.
Yeah. Thank you. Very good. So I'm Deb Evans. I live in Bailey. I've been here 2 years. I am semi-retired, but really retired. My focus or my experience is in franchising as well as social media, digital marketing. So if anybody in the group needs assistance at any time, you have questions or whatever, we'll talk about it a little bit after Megan presents. I'm happy to help. My fee is a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. So I'm affordable. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Rachel.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. I'm Rachel Henderson. My company is Rachel's Creations. I live in Conifer, and I'm the co-president, along with Deb, of our wonderful little group. I specialize in face painting for parties and events. I also do canvas painting parties where I come to your location, like the Paint and Sip, and I can teach up to 10 people at a time. I also do a little bit of mural work, baby bit of faux, and I also work part-time at MacNation 3 days a week, and I'm a house and pet sitter with over 35 years of experience. That's me.
So much stuff. All right, Pat, good morning.
There. Good morning, Patrick. Yeah, I had to unmute. Smarter Women Colorado, and I help you figure out your financial future, your retirement, and there's never an obligation. There are no minimums. I'm here to help you. And the other thing is Medicare open enrollment's coming, so none of you ladies need it, but if you have parents or anybody, I'd be glad to sit down and help you figure things out. Even if they're in another state, I can look at it. I can't do it, but I can help you with it, or make you understand what you need to be looking at. I'm vice president, and I'm the one that does the emails. So Jackie, thank you for sending in information about events. And, if anybody else has anything, please send it in. Lisa, you sent something the other day, and I'm glad to get it out there. We're all about helping the members and referring to each other. Thanks.
Great. So when does Medicare open, Pat? Did you give?
It's actually open enrollment is October 15th to December 7th. I can't really talk about next year until October 1st.
Okay.
But if people are aging in, I can help them at any time. And it's never too soon to know about what your options are. And I work with 10 different companies, so we do have options.
Great. All right, Jackie, good morning.
So I'm Jackie. My business, I actually have two. Turning Point Health and Wellness, which is my health and wellness coaching, and Blue Leaf Design Build, which is my husband and I have that business. He is a general contractor. We specialize in remodels, additions. And I do have two things, which I did send out the email for, but On September 30th from 4 to 5:30, I'm doing a nurses healing circle. So if you know any nurses who are in need of some healing support, just camaraderie, please send them my way. And also Tara and I, who Tara you'll meet in a few minutes, are doing a women's circle on September 25th from 4 to 5:30 at Jazzercise. And maybe Tara can talk a little bit more about that when it's.
Great. Okay. And that was, what was the women's circle at Jazzercise for to?
I'm going to let Tara kind of talk about it because she's got the outline.
Okay.
I don't.
Great. Well, let's just follow up with Tara. Good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone? Thank you so much for having me here today. So I'm Tara. I actually just started my first business this year. It's a startup. I'm in month 9. And it's called Root to Rise. It's a mindfulness business that integrates yoga, art, and nature-based activities. And my primary population that I focus on are kids. So right now I have I just launched a beta group it's primarily made up right now of preschoolers, but I'm testing out, working out the kinks with them. I definitely need more participants in this beta group. So if you know anyone who has a child ages 3 to 11 years old, they would be perfect for this group. They just need to know it's in pilot right now, and we've worked out most of the kinks, but it's like an evolving process, so there's a little kind of ebb and flow with it. So my primary population, like I said, is kids, but I also plan on serving families as well. And my collaboration with Jackie is a reflection of that. So we are holding a women's circle, and it's not just for moms. It's for anyone who is female or identifies as female. And this first meeting, September 25th, is really focused on building a sense of community with others. I think that we lost that sense of community perhaps during COVID. And so Jackie and I are really trying to refocus and rebuild this with a group of like-minded women who want to come together and connect and, focus on our wellness, our well-being, so that we can be, the best versions of ourselves. So this first meeting is really focused on building that connection with others. We're going to serve cacao and some tea and light hors d'oeuvres. And we'll also do at the very beginning, a little light kind of yoga mindfulness session. So going forward, so the first meeting is September 25th from 4 to 5:30, like Jackie said, but we do plan on meeting monthly. So if you or anyone is interested in, connecting and taking time out just to take care of yourselves, this would be the group for you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Lisa, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Hempstreet. For 26 years, I've been helping people save, organize, share, and permanently protect their photos and videos. Most of you have heard me talk about digitizing and scanning, but something that is super popular right now and that some people don't know I have is a print shop. So if you need moving cards or holiday cards, Thanksgiving cards and thankful cards are really great for clients. So if you're looking to do something special for your clients this fall, of course, we do mouse pads and coffee mugs, but some really popular items right now, if you're looking for unique gifts for family and friends, coasters are really cool and popular right now. We've been staying home more. We've been working at home. So they can be done as a hostess gift with photos of travel or a company logo, which is really nice for clients and for coworkers and team members. Luggage tags, super fun for anyone in the travel industry to give to clients. But my favorite item are notebooks. These are such a great gift for somebody who's moved into a new home. If you're in the real estate industry and you need gifts for clients, if you're having a company event and people like to take notes while they're on a Zoom or in an in-person meeting, this is a great way to brand your company, and give a really meaningful gift to your clients, your coworkers, and your friends. So if you're interested, hit me up.
Great. The holiday cards are a great idea. Okay, good morning, Laurie.
Good morning. I am Laurie, the director for Peaceworks. We're a nonprofit that provides services to victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and sex trafficking. Been up here for about 35 years now and going strong. We are having an event coming up. I emailed that, I think last week, to Deb. It's our Witches Tea. It's one of our funnest events. Jody with Blue Mountain Kitchens is hosting us again this year. It's October 8th from 5 to 7. We have some wonderful silent auction items. Angela and Conifer did a great job securing some auction items for us. So excited about that. Food, wine, tea, and we're having a tarot reader. So it's come in your costume if you like. We do some judging. It's a lot of fun. So I believe Deb was going to get that sent out and posted as well on the Facebook page.
Yes, it's all scheduled to post, and I'll do it more than once so that everybody sees it.
Great. Thank you.
Great. All right. Good morning, Ruth. Oh, sorry. Before Ruth starts, Rachel, did you have something?
That's okay. I was just going to ask Laurie if they still need more silent auction things for that event.
We could probably use one or two more, Rachel.
I got you at least one.
Thank you.
All right. Great. Ruth, sorry. Go ahead, Ruth.
That's okay. So Laurie, if you would like something in the way of cleaning products or personal care products, I'd love to donate something from Norwex. So I'll get with you and see maybe what would be best, and I'd love to put a basket together for you.
Thank you, Ruth.
So I'm Ruth Day with Cleaning Green 123, and that is Norwex. So I'm a Norwex independent consultant, and I like to share with everybody that I feel like I get the privilege to share with you how to make your home a healthy environment by using our products. And you can do that in your household cleaning products, also for your small offices, and in personal care. So I am looking for those new moms who are having babies, all of you really in between. I love to talk to the empty nesters, those who are getting ready for retirement, because we're all traveling and doing different things, and I've got great products to help you do that safely. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. I'd love to be able to come do a one-on-one and share my products with you.
Great. I love the products, for the record. They're great.
Great.
Okay. Maxine, good morning.
Good morning. I was invited by Megan. I'm excited to be here. Looks like a fun group. I'm actually visiting all the way from South Carolina. Again, my name is Maxine Serrano, and I actually have two businesses. So my primary business is I'm a virtual assistant. The name of my business is The Inbox Chick, and we provide virtual assistants for small business owners, helping them get out of their email inbox so that they're spending more time on the more revenue building pieces of their business. My husband during COVID started a little side business, and it's kind of grown quite a bit, and people are really gravitating to it. So he has an outdoor movie business. So we bring the movies to you. It's called Under the Stars Cinema. And we do outdoor movies, backyard movies, community, dive-in movies. We even can do drive-in movies when the weather gets a little cooler. Again, he just started it probably about last August, and things have been going really well. And I met Megan, I think it was through LinkedIn, and she talks a lot about franchising. So my husband and I have been definitely thinking about that. So excited to be here, and thank you for having me. Thanks, Megan.
Glad you could come. Deb,
I love both of those business models.
Yeah.
Those are great business models, both of them. Love the originality.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And I believe, did I miss anybody except Megan? Okay, great. So we'll just roll right into Megan's presentation. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, Maxine, I think we met on Clubhouse. Believe it or not, ladies, in your specialty area, if you are consistent and you do a room at least once a week, right? So it's common and people join your club and you know what I mean? They know that they can expect to come in. I missed a couple of my Franchise Friday club rooms and everybody's like messaging me like, are you okay? I'm like, no, it's just Labor Day and I'm just busy on this Friday. I had a client call, but yeah, I've really enjoyed Clubhouse. I have met people internationally. I mean, it's amazing. I met Maxine there and she's curious about how they could franchise their movie business. So it's just really fun.
That would be a great franchise.
I
Absolutely.
told her that. I said, track the numbers, girl. Like keep track of everything so you can franchise it.
Okay. Megan, do you need to be host for your presentation?
I can't. I just hit share screen and it said it was disabled. So.
You can share your screen and then okay, it says you are the host.
Great.
So hopefully you can share your screen and you can present to us.
Okay, hold on. And because you guys are all business owners, this is more just to show you what I would do for any referrals or some of the kind of education that FranNet provides. So please don't think I'm talking down to you. This was really meant to show you how I could help others in your circles. I think you guys kind of know me by now, but can you see my screen?
No, we don't see it yet.
Dang it, I'm all proud of my fanciness here on my presentation. All right, hold on.
Oh, you can do it. We can always send it to everybody later and put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, I got it. I figured it. Yeah, figured it out. Look at me and my big brain. Okay. From beginning. So as I mentioned, this is really just one of our many, as a franchisee myself with FranNet, and I'll get into the FranNet history, but Deb, our lovely co-president, actually introduced me to this opportunity. I've known Deb a long time. Everybody in franchising knows Deb, as I'm sure you guys are figuring out by the great hosts and guest speakers. I think you have Cater coming next meeting. I think I saw Deb. But franchising for me has been really more on the supplier and the franchisor side. But I jumped in, I threw my hat in the ring to be a franchisee for the first time in 30 years of a career in franchising. And it's been hard because of the time that I bought the franchise, because I bought it in October of last year. But it's finally picking up and people are really starting to think, and you guys have heard about the great resignation, and everybody's just like, I've had it with Cubicle America and, you know, this 8 to 5, you know, idea, and you all are already living that dream, right? Which is what I love about this group. I mean, I love entrepreneurs. I love being part of any kind of women's group, because I think honestly, with the trends that I'm seeing, women are taking franchising by storm, literally, and 1 in 3 new units is owned solely by a woman, not by a couple, but by a woman individually. And I'm seeing that in the clients that I'm getting as well. So it's really exciting and fun for me. So I just basically love small business, medium business, and franchising is just a way to do it. So that's really a little bit about me. Quickly about FranNet. So FranNet's been around for over 30 years. They weren't always a franchise, but when they shifted their the existing owners from licenses to franchises, they were able to provide a lot more support. And that's very common with franchisors, is that when everybody pulls together and everyone's paying royalties, the franchisor actually has the revenue stream to add more services. So that's really just the recycle symbol of why franchising has become so absolutely powerful. One thing, has anybody ever been to a SCORE or a SBDC office for any kind of support that you need in your business?
Yes, I use SBDC pretty regularly.
That's amazing. Tell us really quickly, like what I love SBDC because you can get free reports for all of those large marketing firms. I mean, it's run by the SBA and funded by the SBA, because SBA is really not just a grant writing service. It's actually how the economy is fueled for startups, because banks and other lending institutions don't traditionally like startups. But yeah, Tara, I'd love to hear your experience so everybody can understand how it touched you.
Yeah, it's wonderful. They offer, first of all, a lot of free classes to help train startup, people who are starting up their businesses for the first time, just to help them get familiar with, how to structure things. And they connect you with a number of resources. I've done their startup SBDC track, just to kind of get the foundation of like how to write a business proposal and all the elements that are needed. But I also continue to use them, use their consultants. There's a regular business consultant I meet with regularly, and then there's a wonderful marketing and financial consultant that I've also spoken with. And yeah, they're just wonderful.
And it's kind of fun to think about, Tara, is that they aren't really allowed to push you paying them. It truly is a volunteer-based scenario, so it's very ethical. We're really lucky at FranNet because we have an exclusive relationship with these two organizations, and I take that very seriously to heart. I will tell you guys, I do at least 1 or 2 half-hour calls with the Maxines of the world that really are curious about how to grow their business and learn about franchising. And being a franchisor is not for the faint of heart, but if you're doing the right business model that can be replicated, it is something that becomes fun. And Deb, you've had an amazing career in franchising, and when you were with Computer Explorers, that commodity, that, what's the word, like group of people, right? You almost buy yourself friends if you stay in a franchise system long enough, because you're all doing the exact same job. So you have groups like this where we can all relate to being in small business, but then you add one other component, and that component is being a franchise owner, right? So you all have the same marketing tools. You can help each other. One person in my challenge group with FranNet has gotten very curious around LinkedIn and LinkedIn mining and, really trying to specialize in that. Whereas I have done more of the directory listings and things like that. So we're all feeding each other best practices without all of us having to spend the money. And that has been a huge help to me in the first year of my business.
And taking advantage of those opportunities that you were just showing us, SCORE and the other, is like any business, any entrepreneur can. It's
right. That's why it's in my, that's why it's in my presentation. I want everybody to get those. I don't know why people don't know, but I tell everybody, I sing it through the rooftops, that anything you can get for free, get it, because it's not easy being a business owner. So get those tools. One thing, Tara, for you to write down and ask for would be any kind of those marketing research reports about anything in and surrounding your industry. You can use that in webinars. You can use that as business development. Put it on if you want to add some credibility on your website. Getting these reports are amazing. One of the resources is called IBIS, I, B as in boy, IS. You've seen the reports. They're usually in red, like a maroon color. But if you go on their website, you can search for the exact ones and send it to your SBDC person and see if they'll send it to you.
I've actually already done that. I've looked at several reports. And they've been so helpful in helping me, figure out not just who I'm going to serve, but also like how I'm going to do it. So
sure. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I love it. In those reports, SBDC gets a massive discount to get the login for that, for obvious reasons, right? But if you were just a one-off business, it's usually $5,000 a year investment to just have that one IBIS login. So there's a lot of beneficial things there with SBDC.
To add on to that, Megan, they referred me to the Denver Public Library, and the librarians there, the business librarians, have also been amazing for helping me find other reports and do research to help develop my business.
Yeah, I don't want libraries to go away, and so we have to use them so they don't sit around doing nothing. Yes, that's a great point. Thanks, Tara. So when you guys think of your businesses, you know, do you want to all pick your number one on this org chart for me? There's got to be the one, and don't look at the way it's laid out. That doesn't matter. What was your motivation to do it? Anybody? What was that? Flexibility?
Flexibility.
Yeah.
Flexibility for me too.
Yep. Yeah. Anybody else?
Fulfillment for me.
No more layoffs for Maxine. Thank you for voting. So I think that is a big thing. Anybody else?
Yeah, no more layoffs. Yeah, 9/11 killed my job with the airline.
I know. Sucks. You never know, right? Like we're starting to learn that it's not just about the economy always. And so that's been a eye wide open kind of thing for a lot of us. And my hat tips off to anybody that's a small business owner, because we all know it's stressful, it's hard, but when you make it and it's fulfilling, because usually it will be fulfilling if you're in your right lane, right? That's really something to think about is you know, the saying, not everything's easy, but it's worth it, right? And if it's worth it, then, and this is very worth it to me because I get to create jobs in this role in FranNet. I get to do all kinds of fun things that I wouldn't be doing if I just worked with one single franchise company. So for me, it has been about independence. Sure, I would say that's the number one, but I think that's also goes with the ones in the middle, right? Flexibility. And yeah, I know it's going to come, financial security. My husband works for Dish Network, giant company. He has none of these things for himself, except for the money he makes. All right, let me go to the next slide.
I decided a while ago, I'd much rather maybe not have as much money stability, but be peaceful and happy and not staying up all night doing a weird county job and not, you know, never having vacation flexibility and things like that. I'd rather do my 3 jobs than my one old county job any day.
Isn't that funny? How many more hours do you think you work, Rachel?
Less.
See? Isn't that crazy?
And I still get by just fine.
Yeah. And so maybe, you know, one of the things that I did when I bought this franchise is I literally canceled every subscription of things that I didn't need. I went in, you know, I mean, it's scary how quick all that money can add up. And I realized I don't need it. I really only need Netflix, you know, one. And if I want to add others later, I can. So that's.
You can live simply and be happier without all the stress.
Right, exactly. So this is kind of back to that previous slide, but I think these are really important points, right? People can't take this away from us, and you get to grow at the pace you want. And that's been really interesting for me to watch, because you have brokers that will sell 10 to 20 franchises a year, but you know, those brokers own the whole state of Georgia. You know, think of how much more dense that state is. So I've been really good about not trying to compare myself to others like I have in my corporate career, and do the right thing, you know, and make the money that feels good, and, you know, be able to reinvest that 10% in marketing. However, I end up doing that as I start closing these deals. And by the way, I'm proud because I'm going to close a deal before 12 months, and no one had ever done that, Deb, in a new role. So in a full state. So I'm excited about that.
Congrats.
Thank you. And with Julie, Deb, Young Chefs Academy on top of it.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yes, good.
Isn't that cool? Okay, so these are pretty much the options, right, guys? So you buy a franchise, start it from scratch, but yet, you know, have systems, technology, all the things. And of course, you would never buy a franchise without making sure that you speak to at least 10 franchisees in that brand at various stages in that brand to make sure that they were able to open, that the tools that they say they have are true. That's one of the things I love about franchising is you do get the opportunity to talk to the other owners doing the same business. Obviously, I think most of you started a business from scratch. Has anybody used a model from a, you know, like a license model or something like that that I don't know about? Because it's not always a franchise. It could be a license or, you know, some sort of purchase of a mastermind kit. I guess Norwex would be that, right?
That's what I was going to say. With our direct sales, Norwex has a whole format of onboarding for new member, you know, team members that we add. So they have a whole learning process for anybody to go in. So they're full of information when you join. So they definitely would follow that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty close. And the other idea, obviously, would be buy an existing business, franchise or not, that already has years of tax returns, right? Strong manager support team. And a lot of people choose that option because they think it's the safer path. But I think people don't really think about that you're kind of stuck with the previous owner's decision making. So there's always a catch to everything. And I notice if evaluation is very low, even though the gross revenue is really high, it's usually because it's a really complex business, high payroll percentage to revenue, some of those things that are kind of gotchas. So there's that. There is some disadvantages to buying a franchise though, right? And so that's where my job comes in to find the right franchise so that we can kind of tick off the list of those disadvantages. Great example, and probably one of the most common reasons why brands don't grow is they give up too big of territories and you can't even cover the territory because it's so large. Sure, you're protected from another internal franchisee coming, but if you're not saturating the entire territory and getting the brand out, it's actually a negative thing, you know, to have too large of a territory. Deb, do you have any thoughts on some of these disadvantages from all your years?
You know, it's not for, as you said earlier, for franchisors, it's not for the faint of heart. You've got to be able to follow a system, and you know so franchising is not for everybody.
Yep.
It for me in the previous years, it really offered that support that I needed.
Sure. And you're looking to do something you hadn't done, and you know, you had been in technology and social media. I mean, it makes sense sometimes, but I mean, the bottom line, guys, is that there is a federal disclosure document that is mandated by the Federal Trade Commission that you have to disclose the same items or chapters, right, about your company if you want to sell franchises. If anybody ever wants some light reading, I'll be happy to send you some examples of the 300-page FDD, but
Legalese.
But within that is facts, right? Facts, and it's a fact-finding document. I tell people only read 10 pages at a time and, you know, don't kill a tree, recycle the paper. But if you're like me, I like a good book still. I don't do well just looking at my computer all the time. So I always tell people if you're looking at, I don't know, you've narrowed it down to 2 options. I say print out the FDD and go through it on your dining room table, leave it out and go through it, highlight, write your questions and make sure you get those answers. So that is one, I really do think that my career has been well spent in this industry because it is regulated. Now, there's always ways to get around everything, but that's what someone that works with me gets around. So I say, oh, there's a gotcha. Let's figure this out. Okay, so this is fun. How many franchisors do you think there are just in America? Just any guess? Anybody?
I'll keep quiet.
500,000.
Wow, that's aggressive. I love that answer. Actually, it's like almost 5,000 now, but it's because it's hard. But that's a lot. Every business that you see on a wrap van or something is probably a franchise. If it looks like it's really sophisticated branding, it's definitely a franchise usually. Or God bless it, if it's a mom and pop, good for them. They're killing it at the marketing game. But it's everything. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have a franchise for how to blow your nose best, right? Because there's just so many.
Yeah, there's such a variety of opportunities out there, you know, pick up your dog poop. I mean, just everything can be franchised.
It's so true. There's a widget and there's a something for everyone. Let me just check the.
Megan, you're doing great, so don't worry about the time because I was just going to follow you with some tips. So what you're providing.
How am I doing? Because this isn't a very long presentation. I'm just engaging with all of you because it's a lot more fun for me too to do that.
I think you should just continue on, Megan. This franchise stuff can be, you know, very useful for some people. So let's keep going.
Right. So, you know, 48 is the rough number, but it's every year there's so many. And just in the people I've met on Clubhouse that are future franchisors, it's got to be over 5,000 by now. So there's not really a good way to mark that because Small Business Administration registry is usually only for franchisors that, you know, actually have open units, franchisees. So there's just not a lot of easy ways to track the exact number, but I thought this would be fun to kind of show you guys all the categories. Does anybody use a franchise business for any of their services? It's okay. They're small business owners too.
Well, I mean, you would think when we go visit the local, you know, Wendy's, McDonald's, whatever, we're using their franchise. It's a Subway. I go to Subway a couple times a month, so that's a franchise.
But that's either a multi-unit owner or a individual one-off franchise location. And I have a friend that has one Subway and then one, if you guys remember, you met Clarissa Bradstock, one Any Lab Test Now. And she has done incredibly well with both of those brands and they're so diversified. And so I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of my previous, Debbie will love this. I have 2 Any Lab franchisees just because there's nothing else to buy. You know, they're only diversifying because they can't grow. And then I have referrals from, 4 or 5 Camp Arrow owners, and they're all longer conversations, but these are good friends of theirs. So that means a lot as a franchisor previously that they liked how I helped them grow at Camp Arrow, especially that really is meaningful to me, and that they would want me to help a friend of theirs that's a really good friend to grow as well. So I take it very seriously. I treat people's money like it's my own. So that's just a little visual. It's kind of a crazy big industry, guys. That's the thing. It's like the biggest little industry in the world. So another myth is that people think that if you have an initial investment in franchising, that you'll be able to go ahead and get that 100% return to you. The myth around that is that it takes time for all of us to get any kind of return. So Deb has an amazing full level of her house, but she's enjoyed it, right, Deb? You've enjoyed it, but you bought it knowing that it would be an option for you to rent it out, you know, and make some income from it. And that's a smart retirement move, right? So when you look at these dollar amounts, there's a lot of franchisors that are not $1 million investments that you can get a, you know, pretty decent return on, but it's not apples to apples. All right. So one of the things about franchising that I have seen, and this is no joke, is the people that want to be compliant will follow the rules. I am fully compliant with FranNet. I use their proper branding, right? Like I really try to be as close to perfect as I can be with what the best practices are. But there's always going to be things that you find out in your local market that is specific. So if you guys bought a franchise that was operating in the mountains and there's major snow, obviously you can't be open 24/7 no matter what the business is. You're just not going to be able to get to people. So that's the one myth that I think I like about franchising is any good franchisor is going to help you get to what your compliance level should be in your market. And a lot of times they will allow less expense on marketing for smaller territories and things like that. So I think it's a real myth that it's, you know, if you're not fully compliant, you lose your business. That's just not the case. It's really about working with your franchisor and communication. All right, this is all obvious. Like I said, I was showing you guys talking that I go through. Has anybody ever heard of a 401k or a, you know, IRA rollover?
Yep.
Or getting capital?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Aren't there limits on how much you can take from those?
Not typically about how much, it's more about how you structure it. That's interesting. So this for about 40 years, but it really didn't take popularity until, I guess, like 2000s when employers really were contributing more, right? Where it's like, well, that's captive money, I can't touch it, right? That was the mentality. Well, what this program does, and there's 3 or 4 large companies that do it, that I can refer anybody to regardless. What it is you're starting up a corporation instead of an LLC, and you're buying stock in yourself. So you're rolling it over into cash, and it's a loan to yourself that you pay yourself back. So it's not as restrictive on how much you pay every year, you know, the timing of those payments. It's just you're not paying income tax on that money as if it was cash, right? So I did that for FranNet, and I'm so flippin' relieved because I actually am getting a refund because of the pandemic for 2020. Woo! But yes, it's an interesting way to do that. And if you were to look at an open business, let's say a plumbing business that does $1 million in you know, a year, some of those owners might be willing to owner finance so that they have the same amount of money they need to live until the business is paid for. Maybe that person then goes, opens another business that they're more interested or excited in. So there's a lot of ways to fund businesses, all kinds. Any questions?
I have a question about that, Megan. If you're using your 401k or IRA, does it have to be a corporation, or did you also say it could be an LLC that you're using it for?
Yeah, it cannot be an LLC because you can't be completely protected. Like you have to pay yourself, you either have to pay yourself back, or there's a certain, I think it's 10 years or something. And I can get you a free resource to talk about it if you'd like. So I'll put my email in the chat box so you can reach out to me.
Thank you.
Worth looking into. Tara, it really is, even if you only took like 20,000 out of it, but you did the right rules they want. And if you really only needed that, but I always suggest for people to get twice as much as they think they'll need because it's working capital and your own expenses when you start up a business. I don't want to be an expert on it and then be wrong, but essentially it is absolutely doable. I've done it. I took a very small amount, so it might be different, Tara, for different amounts too. All right.
Thank you.
So this is what I almost, I have a couple clients I've had to fire because they would not do the proper due diligence. And I said, if you want to take this investment more seriously, I really feel more comfortable if you actually review the FDD, whether you want to or not. And they had the money, but they didn't quite have what I believe is the moxie, or whatever word you want, grit, to follow through and do the sales part of it. And I know, Deb, you and I both can commiserate on any business that you need to scale to get a return. If you're the owner, you're doing sales, you're doing business development. Deb and I tried to help Deb find, ways to make big impacts on her business. And sometimes it just, no matter what you think, it's just harder than you think it will be. Do that.
True.
What's everybody's least favorite part of running their business right now?
Mine's probably just due to COVID, the lack of my regular clients and repeat clients and things that I normally count on, in addition to growing new clients every year. A lot of those have fallen off until things are fully open again.
Yeah.
So I'm having to get more creative on social media and things like that, which luckily it doesn't take too much time, but it takes a few hours every Monday for me to do all my stuff.
Yeah, it's the tedious part, right? Or the mentally taxing part of having to change a business model, or, create a new strategy for business development. And you never know if it's going to work. And then you're like, I'm pretty damn confident, but it's COVID. These kind of things where
Phone still has to ring. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you get excited about it and you're thinking, oh, I'm so proud of myself. I'm really trying. And then it doesn't do anything. So, it's like crickets sometimes. And you're like, really? Crickets on this? And you're like, dang. But I think it's important to always have that spirit of, this is my business. No one's taking it away from me. And that's how I feel.
I think for me, the difficult part in my business, and I just showed you ladies samples of printed products, is competing with the big box stores. Everybody, their go-to is the big box companies, corporations that are not franchises, and you're not helping the little guy. And that's my competition, are the big box
You're
stores.
talking about Staples, Office Depot.
I'm only going to name a name because we're in a really small, intimate group. Shutterfly.
Oh. What was that?
Oh,
Shutterfly. That's my biggest competitor with printed products. And I have other competitors in other avenues of my business, but when it comes to printing, they're my biggest competitor. And I don't say that in bigger avenues, just so you ladies know. I would never call out a competitor, but we're talking.
No, I've always had that policy too, is, just because I believe FranNet's the best doesn't mean there's not other brokers, right? So I get it.
Yep.
Well, one thing, there are really strong medium-sized printers that you could work with as a collaboration. Lisa, like Speed Pro. I know Bill Landau in the Denver market. He is an absolute lovely man. And sometimes he refers certain things, to other printers that are not in Speed Pro, because it's about the relationships with him. He's in a networking group I'm in. So I think it's interesting. Your industry is very competitive, though. I get it. Totally. Get it? Totally. And then you've got Vistaprint, and, there's all kinds of options for people. But
exactly.
that doesn't mean the quality of the graphics are going to be double checked, or, the things that you really probably take the time to do.
Yes.
That's the frustrating part, right? Is that, they're not going to get the quality because they're not qualified to print something that needs to look the way it needs to look.
Yep.
All right. Oh my gosh, this bar for the Zoom is so big. Let me move this. Can't even read it.
So Megan, we have just a couple more, probably another minute
Oh
for
my
you
God,
to wrap up.
it's 8:56. I could talk
I know.
forever.
You've
Okay,
been
I'm gonna
great.
wrap it up. It's actually done. So one
Okay.
thing free of charge for all of you is my entrepreneur profile. It is a kick in the pants. It's kind of like a disc. There's 4 profiles. I'm an achiever belonger, which means I do care about achievement, but I equally care about belonging to a group. I've always done naturally well in groups. So if you want, shoot me an email and I will send you the link for free.
Perfect.
We'll go through it. And then
Perfect.
we create business models. I spend probably 2 hours with every client, making sure we get the hours they want to work, you know, all of that. So I'm a full stop shop on exploring your possibilities, but also what makes you tick. And that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Thank you, Megan. That was a ton of great information.
Thank you.
I would encourage everybody to get onto LinkedIn and follow Megan. I just did it as she was talking, so it's simple, easy. Find her. Just click on
Number
it.
1, Megan Allen. Thank you very much. No,
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either, but I love it.
Megan, what are you on Clubhouse? Megan, what's your Clubhouse?
If you go in, it's just, I think, Megan E. Allen.
Okay.
That I always joined social really early because Megan is very common and Allen is even more common. So I always go in reserve. Deb, I bet you do some of the same things because of your name being common too. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here,
Nobody
how
really
about
messes
this?
up.
How about
Oh,
this,
go.
please? Everybody just email me anything I can help you with. Send me, it's so easy. My nickname is Mallen, MALLEN @frannet.com. So I'm trying to get it in the, there we go. No one spells Megan the same, so I always use Mallen.
Perfect.
Great
Okay,
participation. I appreciate you guys helping me, you know, do the presentation so that it could be for a group, and it was really wonderful for me to do too with you all.
Great
Yay.
presentation. Thank you.
Kick it to Deb.
Thank you.
She has some things to bring up. Thank you.
All right, Deb, did you have something?
I don't. I know we need to wrap up. I think Rachel does.
Okay,
Oh,
go ahead.
just
Rachel.
real quick, I was going to say that our next in-person, we haven't decided to start meeting in person yet again, but we do have it lined up at Mountain Resource Center to do that when we're ready. We'll keep you guys posted. In the meantime, our next in-person event for people that are interested is going to be October 18th. I talked to Judy at Golden Pine. She'd be thrilled to have us. So we're going to have a ladies' dinner at 6:30 on October 18th. And I believe we have decided that it's going to be our treat. So we're hoping you can come. It's just for members only and ladies in the group. And we're going to have a great dinner there that evening.
Should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So we'll put that kind of out on blast more to everybody who wasn't able to make it this morning's meeting.
Yeah.
So
as it
All
gets
right.
closer, we'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that looks like our time is up. So if anybody has any other quick little information, speak now or go about your day and enjoy. All right. Very good.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Thanks,
for giving
ladies.
me so much time. I had a really good time with you guys, and I'm here
It was
for
great.
anything. Whatever you need, just let me know.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
And I'll
Bye,
email
everyone.
you something, Laurie, and we'll put more on about the witch's tea soon too. Bye.